Well, the AI space is a very interesting one, and actually this morning we released a podcast from the In Good Company series that we make with Sam Altman. And I have to say, when you see what's going on in the AI space and how we use it increasingly internally in the fund as well, I mean, this is a huge revolution, which we of course should talk a bit more about.
Nicolai, let's just talk about it then, because we've seen huge bets placed. Do you think those bets are overly optimistic at this point, given that we haven't seen really proof in the pudding as to what the productivity gains are, the revenue gains will be from this sector?
Oh, it's very, very clear that productivity gains will be huge. I kind of thought that we would improve productivity in the fund by 10%, and that was a number I took straight out of the air. And I asked Sam Altman, what do you think about it? And he thought a bit about it, and he thought we should increase productivity by 20% over the next 12 months. So this is real. It's very big. It's in more and more sectors, more and more industries, more and more applications. This is a true revolution.
How disruptive do you think it's going to be to market leaders? Because already we've seen a couple emerge. I mean, the likes of NVIDIA, for instance, and the other semiconductors very much on the radar of investors now, whereas before it was the FANG stocks really for the last decade plus that investors have also been watching. So how disruptive do you think AI is going to be to market leadership in terms of the equities you'll be holding?
I think it's really going to change things. I mean, one, you have the beneficiary of this, and NVIDIA, of course, is one. Probably Microsoft is one. You have the large tech companies are going to do well, at least many of them. And then you have the rest of the market, and they're the people who really apply this technology and are the leaders in terms of how they making their companies more efficient. They will just run away from the rest of the pack. This is really going to change the leadership in many different ways. And you are also going to have victims here, people who have their business models destroyed.
Nicolai, there's a big semiconductor coming to market soon in the form of ARM as it tries to test the waters. Is this one you have any interest in jumping on board with?
I think it's a bit tough for me to talk about specific stocks like that. There are some very company-specific issues surrounding that company.
Tackle that from a different angle then, because what's interesting here is cornerstone investors trying to get on board, and these cornerstone investors are actual customers, clients of ARM. That's a change, isn't it, in terms of locking up supply and future potential of having a closer relationship. Can you just weigh in on that idea that this is a change of direction now for the likes of ARM, having some of those key customers potentially as owners of the business?
Yeah, it is an interesting development, but all I can say is that we are not going to be a cornerstone investor.
Nicolai, I'm fascinated ahead of COP28, which we're going to have some big coverage down in the UAE on upcoming. The attitude now of Norges Bank Investment Management to climate initiatives, not only on a macro basis, but on a company-by-company basis. Earlier this year, a little bit of controversy over at the BP, why you weren't backing a measure that asked for tougher BP standards as well. I think the quote from Mark van Baal at the time was, NBIM failed the first real test of its new climate voting policy. I note now you've got 3.04% of BP. I don't even need to talk specifically about BP. I just want a bit of clarification, if you can give us, on what you are going to vote for and what you aren't going to vote for in terms of climate initiatives at oil majors, and then ergo what it means about your ownership intentions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first thing I want to say is that the link between climate and financial returns is going to be more and more important. And we are seeing the climate effect on inflation. We are seeing it through the food prices. You see it in places like orange juice, olive oil, rice. You see it across the world. It's driving inflation. You also see it now through productivity losses, because it's so hot in the middle of the day now in places in Europe that you can't really work. So it's hitting productivity. So it's having an effect there, and it's important for us as a shareholder to work in this field. Now, when it comes to the integrated energy companies, we do think that they are also part of the solution. Many of them are investing heavily in the transition, and we feel that BP is one of those companies, and so therefore we continue to support them. But it's the voting season is just finished. We have supported many companies. We have many against vote as well. But it's tougher than you think to get this voting right, because there are some fine nuances here.